up there.
And you remember Fast and Furious, a scandal that we talked a lot about a while back. But with all the reporting of these recent scandals, it's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle. But we will speak to the family of murdered border agent, patrol agent Brian Terry. They, as you might imagine, have not forgotten about this. What they're hearing now from the government.
I wonder what happened to my son that night. Something bad happened out there that night, and I know what happened. I just got a gut feeling, more than they're telling us.
Extreme Weather Center there.
Plus, back to D.C. with all of the scandals that are swirling around the White House. Have we forgotten about some of the other stories that are not yet answered, like Fast and Furious, for example? The mother of murdered border agent Brian Terry joins us next.
Brian did ultimately come home that Christmas. We buried him not far from the house that he was raised in just prior to Christmas Day.
You know about the big three scandals affecting the White House right now, digging up on an old case we have not heard much about recently, but Oversight Committee Chairman Darrell Issa has not forgotten, as we found out on Sunday.
This Attorney General maliciously covered up and will not give us the facts as to when Congress was lied to in the Fast and Furious case. He got the president to claim a privilege that doesn't exist. We're in court. So now when he does something similar, tries to cover up his tracks potentially as to a warrant he signed, am I surprised? No.
And that Fast and Furious comment there, that case is many of you is writing to us because you asked today. BYA. John Robe writes this out of Jackson, Michigan. Plain and simple, what happened to Fast and Furious? We went out to find family members, and joining me today, Josephine Terry, the mother of Murder Patrol agent Brian Terry, and Robert Heyer, Brian Terry's cousin and chairman for HonorBrianTerry.com. That's a foundation. And good morning to both of you. Josephine, we had to look deep into Google searches to find the last news item on this story. What is the last that you have on it in the search for your answers?
We haven't heard anything for almost a year and a half. Anything that we do here, we find out on our own.
Now, what contact have you had with lawmakers, Josephine?
No contact at all with anybody. We haven't heard from the president. We haven't heard from Eric Holder. We haven't heard from anybody.
Yeah, well, the effort to get the documents is at the heart of this, and there has been a holdup for some time. But you know, the president has talked about executive privilege. Eric Holder's been held in contempt of Congress on this. You think this is stuck where it is now for good?
No, I don't think so. I think eventually that they will be released, and I pray every day that that happens.
Do you have a hunch what they will tell us?
Well, I think they'll tell us a lot of stuff that will surprise us that we don't know about. We'll probably be surprised at everything that was in there. So there must be something wrong if they have to hide it.
Robert, do you think they're hiding something?
Well, what we've seen is a pattern of lack of transparency and lack of accountability. We're seeing that throughout Fast and Furious and the subsequent cover-up as far as information after the event became known. And now we're seeing those same type of mistakes being made with the Benghazi aftermath. And our heart goes out to another broken-hearted mother in the name of Pat Smith, who lost her son, Sean, just like Josephine did with Brian Terry.
Is it your sense that with all these scandals around Washington that this one gets lost, Brian?
You know, we feel like we've hit a dead end. Now, Darrell Issa has pursued this investigation to the best of his ability, but the claim of executive privilege has effectively put a dead end into his investigation. And once again, we call upon this administration to release those 80,000 documents and allow this family, the Terry family and the rest of the American public, to understand why Operation Fast and Furious was put into place and why the administration denied, specifically the Justice Department, denied that this operation ever took place for 3 months. Yeah. And as you remember, Bill,
I know you're
the
both,
Terry family was never even told that the weapons found at Brian's murder scene were Operation Fast and Furious weapons for 3 months, and
Yeah, I
that
know you're
information
still
finally came
trying
out
to
with
keep it-
whistleblowers.
I apologize
now, there has to be.
Yeah. I apologize for overstepping you. The computer's going to cut us off here in a moment. But Robert Heyer and Josephine Terry, thanks to both of you. I know you're trying to do your best
Thanks,
to
Bill.
keep this story out in public, and we will see where it goes. Thank you both.